So, in this episode, I want to talk about a few different things over the last couple of weeks. The first thing I want to talk about is the major layoffs from Oracle last week, Monday and Tuesday. And we're talking about 30,000 people. A lot of those people were engineers, architects, and consultants, really technical people. And that's going to be more in terms of AI infrastructure being able for Oracle to get ready to build out those data centers or to have the money for that. So that's going to be AI data centers building out that solution. And so if you're one of those developers who was laid off, I would highly encourage you to start learning new skill sets like artificial intelligence and blockchain. If you guys don't know, we are really close to legislation passing, which is the Clarity Act. The Clarity Act is going to give clarity to the financial industry in terms of what can you do and what you cannot do in terms of DeFi, right? And other protocols. So there's going to be clear regulation behind that. And so as of today, there are deals being made behind the scenes. So hopefully we'll see that towards the end of April in early May. But more importantly, throughout the last 2 weeks, there have been some major things dropping and happening in terms of institutions getting involved in blockchain. All right. Remember now, there's digital assets that sit on top of blockchains, like Ethereum. We know there's Bitcoin. We know there's XRP and multiple other blockchains, right? Layer ones. So digital assets sit on top of that. But more importantly, what's going to come that's going to be more significant, in my opinion, is going to be the real world asset. That piece of it, and what I mean by piece, once we get clarity, institutions will know how to enter the space. And so the institutions, real world assets, and I'm talking about building real world asset tokenization. When you talk about real estate, private credit, stocks and bonds. Now, I want to bring to your attention a couple of things that happened over the last 2 weeks that lets you know that institutions are getting into blockchain and decentralized finance. At the same time, we have regulation. Now, the FDIC yesterday announced major advances in stablecoin and tokenization for banks because that's going to be tokenized deposits. All right. So that's one industry that just came out yesterday. Okay. A couple of days before that, the SEC stated that they were doing work behind safe havens. All that means is a framework for founders and developers in terms of what they can and cannot build on the decentralized network. Now, this also includes other protocols because you got to remember there's DeFi and then there's also other sides of it. There's healthcare, there's insurance, there's many protocols that are going to be built on the blockchain, the tokenization of the blockchain. The protocol or company that we're building is one of those companies that doesn't have anything to do with DeFi, but it is a real utility. You want to build applications that are on the blockchain that have real utility. All right. And so between now and 2030, these are the companies that people are going to look to not only invest in, but you as a developer or you as somebody that's getting in to blockchain, you could be in the security field, you could be a software engineer or a developer. You need to understand that the legislation is being put in place for builders to have clear understanding of what to build. That also means that now's the time to get your skill set in this area, in blockchain and specifically smart contract auditing, because as the industry becomes more and more regulated, all right, institutions and also individual companies will have to be audited because part of that regulations are going to require audits for certain businesses and protocols. As any other industry, almost like the telecommunications industry, you have to have legislation. But once that legislation is clear, then individuals that know smart contract auditing and blockchain together, and we build with artificial intelligence tools, okay, that 10x our productivity. Plus, we understand smart contracting and getting ready for the regulated blockchain because there's certain blockchain ERC tokens that you need to understand such that you'll be ready for regulation. Okay. Now, Franklin Templeton, if you guys don't know, is a big financial institution. So they just purchased, remember, I'm talking about the last 2 weeks, a crypto platform so they can get better involved into crypto and tokenization. So they purchased a whole platform for tokenization. Remember, guys, the narrative going between now and 2030 is going to be real world assets and tokenization. So that happened a couple of days ago. This is all within the last 2 weeks. Okay, that was Franklin Templeton. Now, a few days before that, something else that happened that's really big. Okay, the New York Stock Exchange announced that Securities will be the first digital agent that tokenizes the New York Stock Exchange. So they're going to be the transfer agent for tokenized asset stocks. That's huge. The industry is shifting as regulation is being brought to the forefront. You see institutions buying and purchasing things just in the last 2 weeks. Everybody is getting ready for what's about to happen. Again, you as a developer need to understand blockchain, smart contract auditing, and having a clear portfolio of skills that you have that you can utilize either as a consultant, somebody who gets hired, or somebody who creates their own company and business like we have. This is the platform that we represent. Now, one last piece of big news is that Coinbase last week applied for a banking license from the OCC. That's critical for you to understand because right now, the legislation that is being debated and the regulation that is coming in the Clarity Act, one of the sticking points was yield, stablecoin yield, right? So apparently, the two sides are working back and forth. One of the lawyers for Coinbase came out a couple of days ago and said that they're very close to making a deal. That's how we see now that all the institutions are getting involved in positioning themselves for what's about to come. So you as a developer, software engineer, or somebody who's looking to level up their next career path between now and 2030, now's the time to start building. Now's the time. Once you learn artificial intelligence and how to build systems with artificial intelligence and build systems on the blockchain, and I'm talking about things that companies and individuals and venture capitalists would want to buy and use, and blockchain tools. And now that there's clear regulation coming, you will put yourself in a position for the fourth industrial revolution, which I always talk about. And that's getting your skill set in line to capitalize on what's coming between now, 5 years from now, and the next 10 years, which is blockchain and AI. It's not going anywhere. You want to position yourself in a spot where you can have the skill sets that everybody's going to need. Now, the first thing you want to do is follow this channel for more. And then you also want to get a free blockchain and AI career guide, which is down below. Now, if you want the program that we represent and start building and learning to build immediately, that link is also going to be below. But now is the time for you to do your research on blockchain, especially on artificial intelligence and blockchain, because blockchain and AI agents go hand in hand. So if you understand how to build on that tech stack, guess what? You've now built a skill set that will be in demand for the next 10 years. So keep that in mind. Come back, follow for more, and I'll see you in the next video.